Well, good morning and good day, and welcome to the second day of the IRC's Virtual Conference 2020. It brings me great pleasure to introduce this workshop on the Sustainability Governance Scorecard. And in a moment, I'm going to introduce to you Dr. Yilmaz Argudin, who is chair of the advisory board of the Argudin Governance. I first met Yilmaz some 6 years ago when Turkey hosted the G20 presidency, and Yilmaz played an instrumental role in the B20, the business leaders group that was advising the governments around the world on better governance and sustainable development. And we were very proud and pleased that integrated reporting in the IRC played a major role during Turkey's presidency of the G20, and that was in large part due to Yilmaz's activism. Yilmaz is a business strategist and thought leader, and that it has been informed by many years working in business at the most senior levels, including service on many company boards. And in this session, we're going to be exploring the strong connection between corporate governance and integrated thinking, sustainable development goals, and sustainability leadership. So with that, it really is a great pleasure introduce you to Dr. Yilmaz Argudin.
Sustainability Governance Scorecard is based on the premise that sustainability of sustainability efforts requires good governance of these efforts. If they are made on an ad hoc basis, they are not as sustainable and they don't make as much impact. Therefore, we wanted to analyze how governance is provided to sustainability efforts by the leading companies in the world. And for this matter, what we decided to do was we identified 7 stock exchanges, all of which are parts of Sustainable Stock Exchanges Initiative. And in 10 industries, we identified the companies that made it to sustainability indices in these stock exchanges. We call them global sustainability leaders, as they are the ones who made it to sustainability indices in these key stock exchanges. And by looking at their efforts as to how they provide governance, we wanted to accomplish a number of things at the same time. One of them is to identify the state of the world according to these top companies. How do they do? What are they doing fine? Where the gaps are, even with these leaders? So provide some information about where the world is. Second, we wanted to identify what good examples we can pick from these companies so that we can help increase the speed of peer learning on a global scale from the best examples. As we check everything through a governance lens, we were able to identify some interesting examples that my colleagues will share with you. And third, finally, we wanted to provide a recipe, in a way, from what we learned, how companies can address their sustainability issues, including its governance in a proper manner. So, in a nutshell, we are trying to identify not only how do these global sustainability leaders do generally, but also try to provide a recipe for how to handle the governance of sustainability matters. Learning from how to go to how to. And now my colleagues will share the basics of this research, basic conclusions, what we have identified, and also some very interesting examples that might shed light to those companies globally who want to improve their sustainability efforts, which is very key because unless we internalize the externalities in our decision making, whether they are positive or negative, and look at the full potential impact, material impact of the companies, we are not going to have a sustainable future, neither for the planet or the humanity, but also for the corporation as well. So by sustainability of the corporation also requires appropriate attention to sustainability matters, starting from the governance board level, and internalizing the externalities in our decision making is the key to make sure that we can do good, and doing good is better than doing good is good business, rather than business of business is the business. Thank you very much. Now I would like to turn over to Gizem for sharing us with the basic results of our research, which I hope will be useful for all the participants.
This year marks the second year of our research, and we analyzed the public disclosures of more than 200 companies that are global leaders in sustainability to evaluate the governance of their sustainability efforts. And as Mr. Agnen mentioned, perhaps more importantly, we identified, could we move to the previous slide, please? We identify best practices in sustainability governance and reporting to enable companies around the world to learn from peers. Our model provides links to Sustainable Development Goals, UN Global Compact Principles, integrated reporting, GRI and SASB. And we look for evidence on whether the board provides proper guidance and oversight about sustainability issues, if comprehensive sustainability initiatives are deployed throughout the organization, and whether responsible behavior is embedded in the organization's process and culture. Next slide, please. This year, we evaluated 212 companies from 7 countries and 10 sectors. If you could press twice. Thank you. The countries include United States, United Kingdom, India, Germany, South Africa, China, and Turkey. And we tried to select countries from different continents so that we could see the governance performance, sustainability governance performance of these different countries and compare them. We also selected 10 sectors. I also want to note that the companies that are in our sample are in the stock exchanges in these countries and have more than 1 billion revenue. When we were selecting the sectors, we paid attention to have comparability across sectors. So, for example, we didn't select technology because technology is more condensed in different parts of the world, whereas chemicals or consumer goods is more spread out. Companies are more spread out around the world. And finally, we looked for different initiatives adopted by the companies. 70% of the companies in our sample adopted at least one of the 4 initiatives: UNGC, integrated reporting, GRI or SASB. More than half of them have GRI reporting. 80 of them have UNGC commitments. 37 of them have SASB reporting, and 36 of them have integrated reporting. Next slide, please. This is our model, and it is intended to provide a how-to guide to manage sustainability through learning from peers. It has 3 main components, and for each category, we try to show how the best companies in the world manage these issues and provide best practice examples on how to do it well. The first section is responsible boards. Here we look for whether the board provides proper guidance and oversight on sustainability, whether the composition and skills of the board are fit to lead the company on sustainability, and how the board incentivizes management to focus on sustainability through tying sustainability metrics to executive compensation. The second part of the model focuses on sustainability performance. Here we look for how the company reports on its sustainability performance, including whether or not it sets KPIs, targets, disclosure of results, and evaluation of results through showing trends or benchmarking. We also look for whether the company reports results by geography, for the supply chain, and for its ecosystem, and how the company links its targets and results with its SDGs. And finally, we view sustainability as a journey, and we've identified 4 components that companies need to continuously innovate on in order to have good governance of sustainability. These parts include a clarifying purpose and visualizing a value creation model. This creates a common language between the board, the investors, and the management, as well as motivating employees and management towards achieving sustainability goals. The second component is materiality and stakeholder engagement. Here, we look for how companies identify which issues are material for both the company and for its stakeholders. The third part is supply chain developments. And finally, we look at whether learning and development is integrated within the organization. I'd like to share with you some of our main conclusions from the model, as well as the performance difference between countries, sectors, and initiatives. Our 3 key conclusions are that boards need to take leadership about sustainability, and that they have to ensure that they have the right skills, policies, and oversight mechanisms to steer the organization. Companies need to adopt a data-driven approach, both for managing the organization's sustainability impact and that of its ecosystem. And the third is about viewing sustainability as a continuous improvement opportunity. And this requires meaningful stakeholder engagement and learning to embed sustainability into the company's DNA.
Now I will share the action points for development about skills matrices. First one is link business requirements to board qualifications and make sustainability a board priority. Second is basically publish a skill matrix, and it should also include business priorities, skills, experience of board members. It should also provide information to assess diversity, management experience, relevant industry, and geographical experience, as well as sustainability skills. Third one, focus on sustainability as a board member skill. Increase board diversity to manage sustainability. And the last one is fostering a productive dialogue. Having the right skills, experience, and diversity is the first step, but there must be a productive dialogue within the members of the board to reap the benefits of the diversity. The action points for development in executive compensation. First, identify appropriate ESG metrics material to financial performance and align with long-term strategy. Second, link executive compensation to material sustainability and ESG targets. To improve corporate accountability for sustainability and focus management attention, tie executive compensation to material ESG targets. Third one, provide high quality disclosure to signal commitment to sustainability. The last one is integrate sustainability into the performance management systems of the entire organization. Do not limit it with the board, but you can deploy it to your whole organization. The action points in the oversight section. First, to provide oversight over material sustainability issues, board should clearly define their sustainability responsibilities through a sustainability charter. Second, set up a formal structure and ensure regular board review for ESG issues. Third, a top-down approach to sustainability and good governance is not effective unless it is supported by a bottom-up approach. This approach should include ESG initiatives consistently implemented across functions, divisions, and business lines. Fourth one, focus on risks and opportunities. The fifth one, the board should be presented information not just on financials, but also information about the level of the intellectual capital and reputation of the corporation. Supplier, customer, employee, and community satisfaction surveys are also required for quality decision making. Sixth, ensure internal and independent audit covers all material issues, supply chain and geographies, and conduct board evaluation with an integration of sustainability issues.
Here we would like to give our action points for sustainability performance and how to disclose this information. So first of all, we want to say that what gets measured gets improved. Everyone knows that. So which means that if you set your targets, if you consistently report your results, you will also be able to monitor your progress properly. This process will also allow you to identify areas for your improvement. And you, for example, with this purpose, you will be able to do a gap analysis. Then another key issue is that you need to make sure that you cover all of your employees. Then you don't, for example, omit one geography just because it's a remote geography. You don't neglect it, but include all of your geographies. Then also, as mentioned before, you need to make sure that you have a proper end-to-end value chain approach. This means that you are covering your customers, your supply chain, and consequently with all this, you actually will be able to have an impact together with all your stakeholders. Next slide, please. Then also we recommend that corporations develop a reliable and consistent data. For example, that they don't omit measuring their intangibles. Also, corporations should work together with their stakeholders for the development of a unified framework for reporting, because consistency is a major issue still that many organizations are still trying to figure out. And for example, this is what corporations could do. They could pursue sectoral collaboration in order to identify their material issues for those specific sectors they are in. And that could, for example, if they communicate this also very well, this metrics could help for better decision making in the future for everyone. We want to just mention again a few points, action points we would like to recommend in terms of how to tie sustainability performance to the SDGs as well. So our action points are one, obviously link strategy with the SDGs and make sure that you are prioritizing them as well. Then be in a dialogue with your stakeholders, work together with your stakeholders towards those areas that you want to prioritize. And then this way, probably you will have a better chance of having a real impact and influence. And then also share an action plan to address the gaps and whatever needs to be improved. And have, together with your partners and stakeholders, a positive impact on your society.
We analyzed is sustainability journey of the companies. We started with defining purpose and sustainable value creation of the organization. Then we continue with whether the company sets materiality levels, defining impact for both internal and external stakeholders. We also consider disclosing meaningful stakeholder engagement process, sharing results and impacts. As Dr. Arbi'den mentioned, today a manager's first duty is not only to manage their own business, it's about managing the risks in their ecosystem. From this perspective, we analyzed whether the companies take responsibilities for the sustainability of their supply chain. Lastly, we assess if the company adopted learning culture through the whole organization and their value chain. In the learning culture, we analyze both trainings and providing development opportunities. You can find the details in the report. The action points about value creation is clearly articulate your purpose and define your sustainability strategy. Visualize a holistic and sustainable value creation model, measure and disclose outcomes for both internal and external stakeholders, And the last one, we see that best examples of holistic thinking on value creation are found in companies that embrace integrated reporting. Integrated reporting is a holistic tool, so it shows that it has a positive effect on telling the story of how you create value now and in the future. The action points for developing the materiality and stakeholder engagement through your organization. First one, define and engage your stakeholders. Define material issues for each stakeholder group and how to address them. Define governance structure to support stakeholder engagement. Fourth one is to defining and prioritizing material ESG topics for company and its stakeholders. Publish a materiality matrix, and use reporting as a tool for transparency on communicating with stakeholders on what matters.
So we have several recommendations for companies to better manage their supply chain sustainability. One is to acknowledge their responsibility and assume responsibility across their value chain. The second is to define what the policy is, so develop a code of conduct for the supply chain. And to ensure that the policy is followed, to develop a comprehensive assurance process, use numbers, set KPIs and targets, and invest in supply chain development.
Find both the book as well as even country by country or industry by industry results in our website. Thank you very much, and we wish good luck to all those who are joining us in this journey for a better world and higher quality of life. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Yilmaz, and indeed to your entire team for a fascinating presentation. Your report, your scorecard gets kind of more insightful year by year, and I know that this is now a regular feature of our conferences, is to feature the annual learnings, and it is so practical and some wonderful case studies. So I really would encourage all the delegates to go onto your website and download the scorecard and continue the learning. Thank you very much indeed, Yilmaz, and to your entire team.
Thank you, Jonathan.